Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Joe the Juggernaut, and today we're going to be talking about what happens after you swear in the National Guard. Let's go. Thanks for joining me, guys. If you're new to the channel, my name is Joe, and I just enlisted into the Texas Army National Guard back in April of 2024. So today we're going to be talking about what happens after you swear in to the National Guard. And before we get started, just want to say that the opinions expressed in this video are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the Department of the Army, Department of Defense, or any other federal entity whatsoever. So let's get started. So by the time you swear into the National Guard, there's three things that you're already going to know. You're going to know your MOS, which is the job that you're going to be doing in the military. You're going to know the unit that you'll be assigned to after you complete basic training in AIT, and you'll know the benefits that you're going to get once you have completed basic training and AIT. So as I mentioned on the previous video, one of the cool things about the National Guard is that when you're selecting a job, that job is already assigned to a unit. So when you pick that job, you're essentially picking the unit that you're going to be going into after you're done with basic training and AIT. That unit is going to be where you're going to be doing your weekend drills and where you'll be doing your annual training. Well, not necessarily where, but who you'll be with when you're doing your annual training. Now, one of the best things about the National Guard is that when you swear in and you raise your hand and take that oath of enlistment, you're considered active service. So what I mean by that is you are now considered a part of the military. You're not in the delayed entry program, which is what you would be in if you were enlisting into a reserve component or maybe in active duty. So the biggest difference is in the active duty and reserve, they are not considered on their actual time of service until they get to reception battalion. So let's just say if I swear in today to the active army and I don't ship out to basic training for another 3 or 4 months, I actually won't be considered actively serving until I get to reception in those 3 or 4 months. In the National Guard, however, when I raise that hand, I'm now considered active duty service. Pretty awesome if you ask me. In my particular case, I swore in back in April and I won't ship out to basic training until January. So that means by the time that I finish basic training in AIT, I'll actually already have 1 year of service under my belt. The other cool thing about being considered active service is that you're entitled to just about all the benefits. Now, you won't be eligible for the education benefits and the medical benefits until you finish basic training. However, this means that you can shop at the PX or the commissary. You're eligible for military discounts because, again, you are active duty service. And you're also eligible for discounts on like consumer services like your car insurance or even your cell phone bill. So if you find that you're going to be shipping out within 30 days after you swore in, you typically won't be required to go to an RSP drill. So the RSP is called the Recruit Sustainment Program. So that's going to be a program that you're going to be attending, and it's going to be like monthly drills up until the point that you ship out. Normally, if it takes more than 30 days for you to ship out. So for me, for example, swearing in back in April, every month I have to go to RSP to drill up until the point that I actually ship out. You will be contacted by your RSP retention NCO, who will send you an email outlining the dates and times of your drill, what uniform you have to wear, if any, and what's going to be happening during those 2 days of drill. So I'd be more than happy to go in depth about what you actually do in RSP if you happen to have more than one drill. But in short, RSP is designed to make sure that you are ready to ship to basic training. Here, they will be double checking a lot of your documents, such as like your college and high school transcripts. If you are one that's eligible for BAH, which is housing allowance, because you have dependents, then they'll be double checking that to make sure you've provided like a lease agreement for your home or any mortgage documents, proof of, dependent status for your kids or your spouse. Lots of other just crossing the T, dotting the I's before you actually ship out to basic training. At this point, you'll also probably set up a MyPay account, which is kind of like access to update your banking information for like your direct deposit when you get to basic training. Normally, if you attend more than one drill, you'll also kind of get accustomed to military customs and courtesies, what you should be doing, just military bearing, which is pretty awesome. Like I said, this is unique to the National Guard, but it really does prepare you for basic training. I can't speak for National Guard units in other states, but I know here in Texas, ours is pretty squared away. I learned a lot, and I'm continuing to learn something new every time I go to the drill. So the last drill before you ship out, you're gonna get what's called a shipper's packet. So the shipper's packet is what I call the who, what, when, where, and why. It's going to outline what to do, for example, when you arrive at your airport in your own city, what to do when you arrive at the airport in the basic training city. If, again, as you're flying, if you're actually going by bus, it's gonna outline what to do at the bus stations, who to talk to, where to go if you need resources. There's gonna be important phone numbers on there. Lots of just documentation to make sure that you're squared away, again, en route to basic training. So the night before you ship, you will be required to stay at the contracted military hotel, and you will ship out to MEPS at 5 in the morning, just like you have with every other time that you've actually been to MEPS before this. Now, recent regulation with the Army National Guard is that you will show up again at MEPS and do one more height and weight screening, one more once over, if you will, before you're actually driven to the airport in preparation for your flight out. Now, this didn't used to be the case. I believe this is a new regulation. From what I assume is a lot of recruits ending up at reception battalion and not meeting height and weight and then being turned away. In those instances, just FYI, if you ship out and get to basic training and you're out of height and weight, I'm 100% positive that you get sent directly back to your city of origin. I know that there's a lot of programs out there for people that don't meet height and weight, but you have to be enlisted into those programs. So for example, the Future Soldier Preparatory Course or the ARMS program, you have to enlist into that. You can't just show up to basic training and again be out of height and weight regulation and then they move you into that program. It's not how it works, right? So if you're not meeting by the time you get there, you will get sent back home. Again, with the National Guard, you will do one last check before you actually ship or fly out, which again is, I think, why the regulation changed. So that's it. Pretty simple and straightforward. Again, I know I skipped the whole RSP time. So again, if you're enlisting and you've got a couple months before you actually ship out to your basic training, I did not cover that in this video, but I will post another video next week outlining everything that I've learned at RSP since I've been enlisted back in April. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Try to keep it nice, short and sweet. Again, please hit the like button. It helps me out, and subscribe if you want to see future content. Just helps the channel grow. Do me a favor, HBL special, help a brother out, hit that subscribe button and help the channel grow so that people that are interested in the content can be reached by these videos. So I appreciate y'all. Take it easy.